exchange of gases. Okay, so in this chapter you are going to study the topics respiratory system, so breathing and exchange of gases in the human body is performed by the respiratory system. So in detail, human respiratory system you are going to study starting from the external nostrils of nasal chamber till the alveoli of the lungs. So what all parts in between are there, you are going to study in detail and what is their function. Then after that you are going to study about the mechanism of breathing. So how does breathing takes place? What is the exact mechanism followed in the process of respiration or in the process of breathing and exchange of gases will be studied under this topic. Then we'll study about the volumes and capacities of air in lungs. So in this topic we are going to study what is the capacity of lungs and what is the volume of air that lungs can accommodate. This we are going to study under the volumes and capacities of air in the lungs. The next we will study about exchange of gases. Exchange, or we can say transport of gases. Okay, what type of gases will be mostly exchanged by the human body is, one is oxygen and the other one is carbon dioxide. So how is this process of oxygen and carbon dioxide is exchanged in the human body, that we are going to study in detail in this topic. Then we will study about regulation of respiration. So when it comes to respiration is also called as breathing or exchange of gases. So how is this whole process regulated? How is this whole process controlled in the body? So that is what is studied under the regulation of respiration. If the rate of respiration increases, that means breathing rate is increased. There is some center in the body, someone who is controlling it and bringing back to its normal stage. So that you are going to study under the regulation of respiration. And finally, we are going to study about the disorders of respiration. So final topic will be the disorders of respiration. So in this chapter, we are going to study all these topics in detail. Okay, so now we will start off with the introduction. So students, coming to the respiration, we already know that respiration is nothing but exchange of gases. But what type of gases are exchanged? So the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay. Now this respiration can also be divided into two types in the human body. So respiration which occurs in the human body are of two types. So what are they? What are the two types of respirations performed in the human body? So one is external respiration . One is external respiration and the other one is internal respiration. External respiration and internal respiration. External respiration, okay, includes, that is, this is a respiration which takes place between atmosphere and the lungs, or we can say respiratory tract, RI, which is RT, which is nothing but respiratory tract. External respiration is that which takes place between the atmosphere and the lungs, or we can also call it as respiratory tract. That means exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide will take place between these two. What about respiration, that is also exchange of gases only, but the location will change. That is between the blood and cells of tissues. So there the exchange of gases will take place. So digestive system helps in digestion of food particles, breakdown of food particles from a complex form to the simple form. Why they are broken down into simple form? Because complex forms cannot be absorbed into the blood circulation. Whatever food we are taking, why do we take food? To get energy. Why do we require energy? To perform any function, action, or to do work, we require energy. Now, who is giving this energy? How the energy is given to the body? Food material which is taken, broken down into the simple forms which can be absorbed into the blood, and from blood it will be reaching to the every part of the cell. Now, after reaching the every part of the cell, energy has to be released. So, how does the energy will be released? Again, there is breakdown of the simple molecules. Then only energy can be released. For example, glucose is required, or glucose will help us to give the energy. So, glucose we will take in the form of rice, right? Rice is one of the food material which we take, consists of glucose. Now, rice when we take it, it's a complex form. But when it enters into our digestive system and it is broken down into simple form, then rice is converted into glucose. Now, glucose will pass into the blood. Rice cannot directly pass into the blood because it is a complex form. So, that's why from the digestive system in the form of glucose, it is entering into the blood circulation. Okay, now the glucose from the blood, it is going to the each and every cell of the body. Now, glucose has to be further broken down, then only energy will be released. So, for this, oxygen is required. The process of breaking down of glucose inside the cell, okay, the process of breaking down of the glucose inside the cell is called as oxidation, and for that oxygen is required. Then only energy will be released, and that energy will be utilized by the human body to do any type of work. So, this is what is between the atmosphere and the lungs, and from the lungs to the blood, and from the blood to the tissues, how the exchange of gases will take place. Now, whatever glucose we are taking, after when it is broken down, it is giving some end products. What are the end products? So, glucose is broken down into water and carbon dioxide. So, water is required to the body, but carbon dioxide is not at all required for the body. So, it will be excreted from the body. So, now you understood, oxygen is required for breakdown of glucose. When the glucose is broken down, it releases water and carbon dioxide. Water is required to the body. Carbon dioxide is not required to the body. So, what happens again? In the same way how oxygen entered the cell, in that pathway only even carbon dioxide is also leaving the body. How oxygen is entering, in that way carbon dioxide is leaving. So, now the carbon dioxide from the cells of the tissue goes to the blood. From blood it reaches the lungs or the respiratory tract. From the respiratory tract it goes out into the atmosphere. So, this is how the exchange of gases will take place, and this process is very much required to the body because the energy production is all depending upon the breathing and exchange of gases. Now, you got the point how the breathing and exchange of gases is required to the body, right? So, now we are going to study next about the respiration can occur in two ways in the human body. That is, respiration can occur in presence of oxygen. Sometimes, rare condition when the oxygen is not sufficiently present, then the respiration will take place, that is oxidation will, the process of respiration will take place anaerobically also. So, oxygen Aerobic respiration will take place, anaerobic respiration will take place in the body. When oxygen is available, aerobic respiration will take place. When the required amount of oxygen is not present in the body, then anaerobic type of respiration will take place. Most of the percent, if you see, aerobic type of respiration is performed in the human body. The rare cases, the anaerobic type of respiration will take place. So what is the difference between these two? We are going to study. Okay. So far, what did you understand? Respiration is nothing but exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Respiration is of two types, external respiration and internal respiration. External respiration is between the atmosphere and the lungs, or we can say even respiratory tract. Then internal respiration is between blood and cells of the tissues. So respiration, that is exchange of gases, and that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, will take place in this manner. So now we are going to study, based on presence and absence of oxygen, types of respiration. Okay students, so now we are going to study the differences between anaerobic and aerobic type of respiration. So what is anaerobic type of respiration? Respiration where the respiration which takes place absence of oxygen. In the absence of oxygen, if respiration will take place, then it is called as anaerobic. Okay, anaerobic type of respiration. And if the respiration takes place in the presence of oxygen, so this will occur in presence of oxygen, then it is called as aerobic type of respiration. So here we can see the equation. Okay, so C6H12O6 is nothing but glucose. So this is glucose. Now from the digestive system, glucose is absorbed into the blood. From blood it goes to the cells of the tissues, and then it will leave transfer the glucose from blood to the cells. Now cells have the glucose. Okay, if the process will take place in the absence of oxygen, then what is the disadvantage we can see? So the disadvantage is here. You can see there is incomplete breakdown of molecule. Means there is again one more little complex substance formed. Right? Carbon dioxide, we can't further break it down. Okay, that is the simplest form. But here you can see a compound called as ethanol. C2H5OH is an ethanol. So that ethanol is not completely broken down. It is again, there is a scope of breaking it into a simplest form. Simplest form is what? Carbon source, oxygen source, hydrogen source. These are called as simplest. So here this is not a simplest form. So this type of respiration is called as incomplete respiration or incomplete metabolism we can see. So that is one we can see. Incomplete metabolism we can see. Okay, or we can say incomplete respiration. There is one more complex, or we can say one more substance end product is formed where there is a scope for it to further break, or it is not the simplest form of the glucose. And one more disadvantage is there for the anaerobic type of respiration where it produces less energy. When the breakdown of molecules takes place in the form of anaerobic respiration, the energy yield or the less energy production we can see. So how much amount of energy is produced is only 2 ATP. So the energy which is released by the breakdown of glucose molecule in the form of anaerobic respiration will yield only 2 ATP. Okay. Now whereas coming to the aerobic type of respiration, that means what I said, which occurs in the presence of oxygen. So here you can see here, in the presence of oxygen, the oxidation is taking place or the respiration is taking place. So here you can see glucose presence of water molecule and the oxygen, there is complete breakdown of product. You cannot see further any simpler form. These are the simplest type of forms which are produced, which are the end products. That is carbon dioxide and the water and the carbon dioxide. Okay, so C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. So this is water, oxygen, which is broken down. The glucose is broken down into 6 CO2, okay, and 12 H2O. So complete breakdown of molecules we can see. So complete metabolism will occur. So here we can write complete metabolism we can see, or complete respiration we can see. Next, the energy yield is also high in when the aerobic type of respiration takes place. So energy yield is high. So how many ATP will be produced? 36 ATP are produced in the aerobic type of respiration. So how much ATP? 36 ATP. You can see the energy yield difference. Here it is only 2 ATP. Here it is 36 ATP. So this is what the type of respiration which takes place in the human body. Most probably, most of the time, aerobic type of respiration only will take place. Very rarely, anaerobic type of respiration will take place. Okay. So very rarely we can see the anaerobic type of respiration. Okay. So you got an idea about the respiration, types of respirations. Okay. Now next, we will see how did the evolution of respiratory system took place in the animal kingdom. So starting only, lungs have not yet formed, lungs have not formed for the respiration, but there was a gradual change in the systems of respiration. So systems related to the respirations, there was a gradual change. From the starting, that is the first kingdom of the Animalia, that is Porifera, there itself there is no respiratory system, but there was a gradual change in the formation of respiratory system. So now we are going to study how is the evolution of respiratory system took place in the human body. Okay. Okay students, now we will study the evolution of respiratory system. So evolution of respiratory system, if you see, starting with sponges, the very primitive type of organisms in the Animalia kingdom. So sponges, then cnidarians, okay, then ctenophores and platyhelminthes. So all these four kingdoms organisms had respiration through their body surface. So through body surface. Body surface was used for the exchange of gases. So for the exchange of gases, what is used here? What is the main structure? That is a body surface, where that used to help in the exchange of gases. Next kingdoms after the platyhelminthes, if you see, earthworms. Okay, so earthworms used to respire through moist skin. Okay, we can say more or less. Okay, we'll write. Moist skin. So we can say it as also body surface only, but moist body surface. Okay. So if you see sponges, cnidarians, ctenophores, and also platyhelminthes, they are surviving in fluids or water, we can say. So they are doing through the body surface. Whereas earthworms, that is annelidans, earthworms, we can also say, or annelids. So these were performing the respiration through the moist skin. Okay. Then next comes arthropods. So arthropods, we can see wide variety of respiratory systems or respiratory structures developed. Okay. So till here we can say a very simple form of respiratory structures are there. When it came to the arthropods, few were having book lungs. Okay. Then few were having book gills. You already studied all this in your animal diversities, but again it's like a repetition. And few had tracheal system. Okay. So book lungs, book gills, tracheal system. So book lungs we can see in the spiders and scorpions. Book gills. Okay, book gills also we can see in some of the aquatic arthropods. Not only in arthropods, we can see them in the mollusk also. Then tracheal system, like insecta class related to the insecta, the organisms related to the class insecta, they were having tracheal system. So when it came to the arthropods and mollusks also we can include here. So they were respiring through the book gills, book lungs or tracheal system. Then echinodermates. Coming to the echinodermates, they were respiring through the dermal branchia. Dermal branchia. So these are present on the skin. The structures which are present on the skin, those were helping them for respiration. So this is a respiration which is performed by the organisms related to the invertebrates. So kingdom Animalia, we can divide them into vertebrate phyla and invertebrate phyla. Vertebrates and invertebrates. First formed are the invertebrates. Next formed is vertebrates. So invertebrates started from sponges and ended at the echinodermata. So these all in this way you can see body surface is the first primitive most type of respiration we can see. Then came moist skin, then book lungs, book gills. Why did they give word book is they are like gills and lungs are in such a way that it gives an appearance of an open book. So that's why they are called as book lungs and book gills. Then we have also seen that tracheal system has been evolved and then came the dermal branchia. Okay. Now we will see how did the evolution took place and how there is a gradual change of respiratory system in vertebrate animals. Okay. Okay students, now we will study the evolution of respiratory system in vertebrates. So invertebrates, they start with protochordates. Okay. Then protochordates are the primitive type of chordates. Then vertebrates, primitive vertebrates. So you already know the differences between the protochordates and primitive vertebrates. Protochordates are the first formed chordates, means they are with a notochord. Organisms with a notochord, they are called as protochordates. Then slowly the notochord is transformed into vertebral column. So the first formed organisms with a vertebral column can be called as primitive vertebrates. Okay. So protochordates and primitive vertebrates include fishes. That is Pisces class. Okay. And here you can see ascidians, cephalochordates, urochordates, right? All those will come under the protochordates. So protochordates, primitive vertebrates will include fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals. But among the all, first formed vertebrate is Pisces. So these together, they respire through the gills. And these all were the aquatic type of organisms. Okay. So gills help So very interesting type of respiration takes place in the amphibians, where the respiration occurs in three ways. Occurs in three ways in its lifetime. Okay, in its lifetime I'm saying. So amphibians in larval stage. In larval stage, they respire through the gills. Okay, then next, in adult stage. In adult stage, they respire through the lungs, and in unfavorable conditions, okay, in unfavorable conditions, they respire through the skin. So you can see amphibians will respire in three ways. So they can respire through the gills, they can respire through the lungs, they can respire through the skin. But the conditions you can see, they come across these stages. So that's why they have three types of respiration in their body. Like now amphibians in the initial stages, the larval stages, they will be surviving in water. What is the thing which is making them to live in the water? Because they will release, that is the fertilization will take place in the water. Fusion of male and female gametes will take place in the water. So initially in the larval stages they survive in the water. So that's why they require this type of respiration. That's why they develop gills. Slowly as they are becoming adult, gills are transformed into lungs. And the lungs will help in the exchange of gases. Means after they become adult, they live on the land also and sometimes in the water also. Then in unfavorable conditions. So sometimes unfavorable conditions, they live under the soil, they live inside the soil. So during that time, they will be having moist skin will be there, right? So that moist skin is nothing but water is present on the skin, and that water will help in exchange of gases. It takes the oxygen from that moist skin. So that's why amphibians will be having three types of respirations we can see. Then next, reptiles, apes, that means birds, and mammals. Okay, they respire through the lungs. Okay, and here I want to give a note for the apes. Apes also we can see a different type of respiratory system, where lungs are in turn again connected with the air sacs. Do you remember? Animal diversity 2 we have studied. The respiration performed in the apes is continuous type of respiration. Continuous exchange of gases will take place. That is due to the presence of air sacs connected with the lungs. So in this way, there is a gradual change in the developing of respiratory system in the kingdom Animalia. Human belong to the kingdom Animalia. So, and the class mammals. So mammals have finally developed a well-developed complex structure of system called as respiratory system, where they respire through the lungs. Okay, so far we have studied types of respirations, that respiration in presence and absence of oxygen, and we have also studied the evolution of respiratory system. So next we will study the respiratory system in detail of human body. Human body respiratory system starting from the nasal chamber to the lungs. How is the system